Hey, we are live. It is 8:01 p.m. Eastern, 5:01 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, March the 3rd, 2021. Welcome to NasCanucks presented by, damn near made it through, Vibraprint. It was the I in there.
You just never said it enough. You don't say it enough.
I don't. So welcome to NasCanucks. I'm Ben. He's Doug. Sup, Big G, Gary Tholander in the chat. He's like, what's up, Doug and Ben? And food's burning. Be right back. Sure. Perfect. Perfect kind of viewer for the perfect kind of show. So this week we are talking Homestead race results. We're finally finishing the Florida trilogy and moving on. And then we're going to be looking ahead to Las Vegas. We've got some series news. We've got regarding next year's new tracks. Talking about that, some road course stuff, some dirt action. Not only are we going to be talking NASCAR at Bristol, we're also going to be talking about the Bristol Dirt Nationals. Why? Because they happen about a week and a half before the NASCAR.
And I've actually already been seeing some testing for that as well.
I'm looking at the entry list. I'm looking at the entry list.
But I've already seen they've already had like some sort of truck test. NASCAR. Not NASCAR, but some other. I've been watching.
Dude, for the Nationals, we got everything from super late models. Then we got late models. We got modifieds. We've got street stocks. We got stinger cars. And dude, I looked at because I got soft spot for the they're out there in the six bangers, right? Yep. We got entries from New Hampshire to Wisconsin to Iowa to Georgia. Let's load her up on the 2-axle job, babe. Let's get her on down there and have some fun. And why not?
And I've seen some comments today on as a friend of mine says, the Book of Face, and about the format that's coming up.
We'll get into that.
But yeah, I've seen some comments and just people use your head. Is all I'm gonna say.
Perfect. So we're looking at Homestead, Miami, Speedway, something like that. I don't know what they call it. It's more or less, it's in the South Floridas. Nice track. Reminds me of the old Atlanta track in many ways. So always interesting with watching the two different races. We only had Xfinity and Cup running. The racing was very different from Saturday to Sunday.
You think?
Yeah.
A little more bitching on Saturday than it was on Sunday.
Well, not only that, but we're seeing more of that dive bomb. Like, you're in the middle of the corner. Here's the time. Let's turn left, drop to the bottom, shoot up, bingo.
Some people did.
Little more. You know what it was? It was like the Daytona race to open the weekend, open the year, because Saturday was the much more entertaining race, and you had a bunch of top riders on Sunday. Well, we had a bunch of that this Sunday as well. A lot of single file running up top, and anyway, so Saturday going in, what were some of the lines of the weekend? We had Ty Dillon running in the 54 again.
Yep.
That was okay.
Reddick in the 23.
What's that?
Tyler Reddick going back to the Xfinity Series in the 23.
Yep. What else did we have going on? I think that, you know what? Something, I'll hit on that later, but that's going to come up later in the show. It's not pertinent to the race itself, so just remind how I get. Don't even start.
It's not just you.
I know.
That's why I have another laptop sitting right there.
Yeah.
That I will look at and say, oh, yes.
So we had another extended entry list, no qualifying. So we have 40 cars start the race, which was awesome. Still haven't figured that out. If you get 40 points to win a race, I guess, regardless of how many cars start, I'm not sure. Yes. Must be. It's got to be fair that way. But we had somebody going into the weekend saying, this track owes me. I should have won here twice last year. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Are you Kyle Larson? No. Kyle Larson can say stuff like that. Matt Crafton, another guy who finished second a hell of a lot of times before ever winning a race. But, this guy, what's his name? Tyler Reddick?
Yeah.
Yeah, driving for Junior Motorsports.
No. No.
No?
You've got me all confused.
Noah Gragson. That's who I meant.
Yeah.
I get them all mixed up sometimes.
Wow. Okay, sure.
I'm gonna blame the cold snacks. So Noah Gragson, who you know what? As much as we were talking the other day, how Kurt Busch, I was saying once he's out of the driving for a living, he could be a play-by-play guy. We were talking off air about this, not on the show, let alone a color commentator. Except the way he was overemphasizing Noah Gragson. Yeah. Everyone else says Gregson, and he has to say Gragson.
Well, maybe he knows because Noah Gragson did run for Kyle in the Truck Series, which
I think somebody
I have to think though, him running for Kyle in the Truck Series, JGR let him go to somewhere else.
Yep.
Was that foreshadowing of what was coming? Did they know something?
That chip on the shoulder, perfect fit at Penske.
The space between his ears?
Yep, perfect space for Penske. So, he's going in, and all we heard about, he's going to come up to, I'm going to start in the back, and I'm going to lead by the end of stage 1, and this and that, and this and that. Okay. And he did that. He was backing it up, and let's be honest, what else happened in the race? Not much.
No.
Harrison Burton blew up.
Allgaier blew up.
Yep.
Then, the only other thing was that Mr. Daniel Hemrick taking out his pit crew.
Right.
Because apparently he says that he's never done a live pit stop at that track. You've done enough live pit stops. You were actually in the Cup Series last year.
Just going to say, I'm pretty sure NASCAR is pretty much uniform, or, the pit stalls are all the same size at every track these days, especially once we contracted down from 43 cars to 40 in the field. Yeah. Pit road's pit road.
Yeah.
Pit stop's pit stop.
Yeah.
So, that does fly. So then we get, Noah Gragson, who... You want to know what kind of character is? He picked a fist fight with Harrison Burton last year.
Yeah.
Didn't win it. Harrison thumped him, which is awesome.
Even though Harrison does look like he's 12.
Yeah, exactly. What's it like to be beat up like a 12-year-old, Noah? Tell me. Yeah. So he's flying around there, and his words, because Twitter, his words, had a 9.5 second lead and was running half throttle around the track, could have easily picked it up an extra half a second a lap if he wanted to. Okay. And this is someone who is pulling 0.2 of a lap on the field and didn't need to. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, what are you proving? And first of all, that's bad voodoo. When you pull out to that kind of a lead, usually there is a caution. Who knew you'd be part of it, Bubbaloo?
Yeah.
So apparently, I say apparently because I thought it looked a little hinky at first. Remember, I told you about that. It looked a little hinky to me.
What, that there was other dipshits on the track?
Yeah, because he has to swear in every interview. Yeah. There's a dipshit every week. Dipshit, he means, is veteran driver David Starr, who somehow decided to just pull up in front, or as Noah said, got loose and lost it right in front of me. No, you had 3 to 4 car lengths between the two of you. Plenty of time for you to, 1, let off, 2, pull down. Mr. running half throttle because it was in the corner.
Should I show it?
Pull down. Yeah, but okay. You can show those tires. Go ahead. Show that this is what Carl Long had tweeted out as that's the shredded or corded right front tire. To which Noah Gragson says, "Yeah, that's from stage 1." Fake news. Yeah. Fake news. That's from stage 1, Doug. That's not, that wasn't from the, no, don't believe Carl Long, who's, been around the sport for a quarter century.
Mm-hmm.
Believe the kid. I want to point out some facts. Like when I saw it happen, I thought it was a little hinky because I assumed, David Starr at this point in his career does a lot of start and parks, right? So I assumed this car is 4 to 6 laps down, running 31st, and did what happened, looked a little hinky. I don't know what's going on there, right? Whoa, sorry, Ben, you weren't paying attention to the ticker. No, David Starr was having his best run in years.
I don't think the lead
lap.
The crew on the TV didn't know because they were calling him a lap down car already. And I was like, oh no, he was the last car in the lead lap.
Well, did you see? I'm not alone in this because he's out there driving for Carl Long, who's his car owner, who's another start and parker. That all of a sudden he's running 12th on last car on the lead lap. And let's be honest, we hear the next night how, look, there's the 6 car Ryan Newman. No, he's the widest car on the track, which tells you he blocks. He's a blocker by trade. That's okay.
Yeah.
But David Starr, who didn't get out of the way for this guy to have it handed to him.
And then if you look at Starr,
TV, makes an ass out of himself, and then claims, this is famous, he claims he lives in the moment, folks. So that's why he swears in interviews and eats big greasy cheeseburgers because you never know if that's going to be your last meal. So he gets on Twitter and he and Carl Long start getting into it back and forth. And even on Monday, he's still chirping on Twitter, pun intended, for Mr. I live in the moment. It's 2 days later and you're still bitching and moaning about it.
And even still going on Sirius XM with in the morning show there with Bagley and
right, Gary.
Yeah.
But
no, and if you look at Starr, he went way down low before that tire really went.
Well, and that's
actually,
where
if you go back and look at the replay, because I watched the race. Actually, I seen that part today when I was watching it,
right?
And I kind of knew what was coming. Right, because I can't stay off the book of face, see it. So I knew what was coming, and actually coming to that spot as they were going down that backstretch, I think it was. They focused on Noah's car, and if you're watching it, you could actually see a piece of rubber fly up at Noah's car. There was actually it was still like you were able to see so it was a big chunk of rubber.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because it was already starting to cord.
So if Noah was running that line, he should have been able to see. If I can see it on TV, I think he's going to see it or someone else is going to see it.
And hear it.
Yeah, right? I'm not sure if it hit Noah's car, but it went in Noah's direction. So, and Starr went down low. So Starr knew he was coming.
Which is something that Kurt Busch mentioned repeatedly during the race when guys were carving down like that, how you're scrubbing laps off your tires because nobody's running down there as much and to hold the tighter radius on a very abrasive surface, which what was left of that tire just went, nope.
Yeah, and even Starr said it himself. He was like, you know what, I was looking at even a possible top 10.
Yeah.
Even going that lap down because there was so many cars that were close to being empty.
Exactly.
Right? And they were good to go. So, you go to that overtime finish, if it would have went there, it's he's got that chance of the top 10.
Yep. Yeah.
So and it's like we said when we were talking about it before, is that it seems that every other week, Noah Gragson is into it with somebody.
Yep.
And it's usually somebody different. And there has to be a time where he has to sit and look in a mirror and
usually guys like that
and figure out, there's a common denominator and it's the person that's looking back at me in the mirror.
But it didn't work for Joey Logano. So
yeah, but that's
yeah.
So
but usually guys like that, I'm like, what they need? Good thumping. That'll learn them, but apparently it doesn't.
And so then fast forward to today with the Dale Jr. download coming out this morning. I made sure to listen to that, and Junior and Mike Davis that's on with them were both said, I guess there's something that we do have to talk about, but while they when they recorded that, Junior still hadn't been able to get a hold of Noah. They were playing phone tag. Noah wasn't answering his calls,
which is bullshit.
Calling Noah back when that Junior was busy. Junior couldn't get to the phone, so he hadn't had the chance to really
when the boss calls, you answer. I don't care what you're doing, because that phone call is coming. You may okay. You can miss the first one. That can happen depending on, you can possibly miss a first one, but you better call back as soon as you get the message, or you pick up the next time the boss calls. So, guess what? He's not the boss anymore because you're not employed anymore.
Well, and Junior said he didn't want to be that helicopter owner coming in, but he could get you're heated in the moment. He gets the way you are in the moment because he's been there.
But there's a pattern.
But there's then the time after that moment where you have to kind of sit, have a look at what actually, Junior's words, have a look at what actually happened.
No, first of all, let's start fining him for swearing on TV.
Yeah. The other thing that Junior said was that that he loves both Carl Long, David Starr, some of his favorite people in the business.
Hell yeah.
And they are both very respectable people. Junior kept saying that. They are very respectable, stand-up people.
Yep.
I think we know where Junior sits with what happened here.
Exactly. Hence the phone tag. Because somebody knows his ass is going to get chewed out. And, yeah. So, who ended up winning that race?
Myatt Snyder.
Right.
Myatt Snyder.
Right.
So,
young Myatt Snyder, really, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Too bad Marty wasn't there.
Yeah.
Doing the pit.
Exactly. Yes, that's awesome.
The other funny thing that happened post race, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the guys at booth even said, does he not know the rules, what goes on, what the protocol is after a race? Because he went to the radio guys first before going to the TV.
Yeah. True. Oh, that's going to be, I think this is going to be a theme this year, because has it been a full moon this entire race season? Like, Vegas is losing money. Like, somebody is getting rich. Those handful of people that are laying the odds on these winners each week, they're getting rich. Like, who had Myatt Snyder in their pool?
Exactly,
no.
Yeah.
So that brings us into Sunday. News of note: Chip Ganassi was not at the track because he was one race suspension due to COVID violations, and Corey LaJoie, his crew chief, was not available for the race. I can't remember why, but he had brought out a retirement, which is odd. See, karma.
There's some more Junior news on that as well too.
Yeah.
So you can talk about that, and then I'll say Junior's thoughts on what happened.
So coming out of retirement, we got Pop-Tart up on the box. Steve Letarte. I wanted to call him Pop-Tart because no one's called him Pop-Tart in about 15 years, especially once he lost the weight. Steve Letarte coming out to call a race. Why not? Yeah. Have some fun. Let's be honest, not a high-pressure situation.
No. So he called Dale Jr. to let Jr. know before it was announced. And even Mike Davis was like, you knew? And Jr. was like, yep. And I have to say, I wasn't happy about it. Because it actually upset him. Because he was like, you know what? I was Letarte's last one that he was with.
Right.
And that was a big emotional race, and we did all that stuff, and
then he throws it all away for a one night stand.
It kind of hurt And Davis was like, "You knew because I was like, was that the call you got when we were together?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you kind of hit it really good." And he goes like, "Yeah, it." He goes, "I don't know. It just got to me." So he goes once the race started, he was kind of okay with it, but it just that at the start, it hurt.
Interesting. So
But that's the emotional junior, right?
So we had a bunch of cars go to the back for various reasons. Just to kind of shake up the starting grid some more. Why not? And for the first time this year, we did not have a full field. Only 38 cars took the green. So I was like, huh, interesting. Okay, fine. What do we got? Early on, the Penske cars were out front early when the sun was shining. But it was literally as the degrees that sun was going down, so was the standings or the positions of the Penske cars. They were fading along with the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Logano was good early. Keselowski had points a little later on where he looked like he was somewhat competitive, but once the sun went down, it went from Ford to Chevy, that's for sure. And our picks from last week going into the race, you had called Kyle Larson. I said Martin Truex Jr. and to keep an eye on that 24, which you had agreed because he's been reunited with what's his fuck there?
With Rudy Fugle, who was his truck series crew chief when he was with Kyle Busch Motorsports.
Right. So, there we are. Someone texted me. So I said, keep an eye on it because I saw restrictor plate. He was looking good. Okay, whatever. Road course looking good. I'm like, yeah, but he's not good. Like, what's up? And for me, looking good can be, well, he was running 18th last year. Now he's running 12th. How did he get 6 spots better? Right? Because I like watching the races within the races. What can I say? So, we start seeing, once the sun went down, the Chevys came to the front with the 24 ultimately winning the race. But, man,
that race for second, third, and fourth was good at the end.
Yeah, really, really good. Including, that was the one, wasn't it?
Tyler Reddick.
That's it. Him. They made such a big deal out of him the whole race. It was nice. When the broadcasters throw it on you, just lay it on thick the entire race. It's kind of nice when they're right for once.
Yeah.
Like he did come up. He was competitive. Hey, had there been a few more laps, he would have won the race.
I think so, yeah. And it was nice to see Kyle Larson up there running the top.
Yeah.
Truex back up in there.
Yeah, and saw some other, competitive. There was a couple of Fords that hung on in there. In fact, these two guys, they finished in the top 10, and they're the only 2 drivers this year, Doug, to finish in the top 10 in all 3 races.
I don't want to hear it.
You got Mr. Quiet, Kevin Harvick, and one of your favorites.
Don't want to hear it.
4th in the points standings, Michael McDowell.
There's cheating. There is cheating going on in NASCAR.
Clearly, they have Chad Knos's laptop.
Yes, that is where it is. It has been found. It was lost at a Love's travel stop in California. That's where it was lost. Somebody picked it up at a Love's travel stop.
Yeah, as much as I like to say it, just to kind of grind your gears, but hey, Michael McDowell, he's he was hanging it. I was watching. I was like, damn, buddy, he was running that 5th to 7th up to 4th, back to 7th, and I'm just like, hang on, we're hanging him and who was also Cole Custer was up there running toward, and then he faded at the end. I was, because that's me. I watched the race within a race. I was rooting for those guys to, I'm like, hold your position, hold your line, just rim ride the rest of the night. Finish that, get that 6th place spot. That's some big money. Ryan Newman, snuck into the top 10 at the end there.
Yep.
I noticed.
Yep.
But it was, I don't know, it was all right. It was good racing, but they got to get rid of those stupid 20-foot billboard spoilers on the back of the cars, for one thing. That's a track that has no grip in the track. Well, guess what? Let's give them no grip in the cars either and just let them dance and skate. And, then
I'll say to
all he wants. Going, hey,
Gary,
I couldn't do anything. I was holding my line because it's like Darlington. He has no choice.
Yeah. I will say to Gary, McDowell's too nice of a person to channel Smokey Eunuch.
True.
But checking up, I'm looking over here at the penalties for the post race.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the 8, the 9, the 18, the 19, the 41, and 42 all had lug nut violations after the race.
Nice. Speaking of the 42, someone give him a fucking smack. Ross Chastain used to be an all right, nice guy until about a year and a half ago. Now he drives like Noah Gragson. Like he was a menace out there on Sunday again.
Yep.
Was not impressed at all.
Just another shout out that I know you wanted to, and you forgot about it.
Yes.
Switch back to Saturday. Great run for Josh Berry in the 8 car.
Yes, that's right. I'm not going to say young. He might be about 28 now.
He's been running forever with Junior Motorsports in a late model.
Yeah, Junior, they met online racing 15 years ago, and they've been playing with late models ever since. He did run Daytona Cup restrictor plate race for Junior. Got taken out, which whatever. I can't. Well, the real test is that 1.5 miles. Yep. And to see somebody go out there on a low grip 1.5 mile track with no practice, just here you go. I thought it was funny. Who was that? They were talking about at the start of the race. Clint Boyer, go figure, right? He's like, you go to a football game, and they're out there practicing kicks and throws and catches and stuff. You know what we do? I'm sitting in the bus eating a bag of potato chips, and then they knock on the door and say, get in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? Another thing, we kind of touched a bit on it. Back to Saturday though, in the booth, Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola I think they were great together.
They were.
Kurt really wanted to have some fun at one point. I think it was when Myatt Snyder rubbed into Noah Gragson. That Kurt was like, yeah, you've never done that to me, Eric. And Eric's like, oh yeah, I give you all the respect I do. He's like, and I think Kurt was trying to have a little fun back and forth with, we rub each other a lot. And he's like, oh no, I give you all. Yeah,
but you can tell Eric's from that Richard Petty school, right? Just nothing but nice, kind of. Yeah.
And the other thing is, when they talk to the drivers on the radio, all 3 guys don't have to look at the camera. You look like fools.
It's like they're waiting for them to take the screenshot, right? Like their thumbnail.
Exactly. It's like somebody's waiting for someone to take a picture when they're all hammered on their birthday sitting in the man cave.
Yeah. One guy's holding the knife to cut the cake.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'm waiting for the Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch in the booth together. That would be a good one.
I think it would. It would.
I think it would be. So I'm thinking about starting a new segment. It might not be every week, but we're going to call it the Hold My Beer moment. And that is, I've seen a trend this year.
Is that really a beer, though, that you just had?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our Canadian depth charge right there.
It is, yeah. It's
come on now.
You put that in a Canadian version, not the American, a Canadian version of that in with a bunch of Bud Lights, and you just watch the guys that are already hammered crack that.
Well, even the Americans okay because they still brew it here in Canada. That's the nice part. They're one of the few imported beers that's actually imported. But so I saw this trend start since the beginning of the year. Daytona, the restrictor plate race, I'm getting confused. There's Monster Energy all over the place, right? Then this weekend, A lot of Bass Pro Shops. You know, he's always, what's his name? The owner of Bass Pro
Johnny
Shops?
Morris.
Johnny Morris. Well, you know, Johnny Morris, he was on the receiving end this week of a hold my beer.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's a nice guy, though.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. But he was told, I got to bring it because I want to get the guy's name right. There it is. Marcus Lemonis.
Yes.
Right? Who's the president owner of Camping World.
Yes.
He told Johnny Morris, hold my beer.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, for this
you know
weekend?
what I'm talking about, right?
For this weekend?
So he put out an open tweet. If you're running the truck race, because he loves the truck series. He
sponsors the truck series. He sponsors the truck series.
Exactly. He did, and then he didn't, and then he did again. And so this weekend he went, hey, any of you truck teams out there don't have a sponsor, hit me up. So the deal is, it says, which NASCAR trucks are unsponsored this weekend? Respond here if you are, if you know someone to get their quick attention. So the deal is, you do the complete wrap on the truck, which, my God, I hope they do variants, Doug. Let's do some reverses. I'm fucked otherwise.
It's gonna be a whole lot of Monster Energy cars out there.
It's gonna be like the IROC series, right? Okay, so he's gonna wrap your truck for $15,000. Okay. That $15,000 turns into $25,000 if you can finish in the top 10. Will turn into $35,000 for a top 5, and $50,000 instead of 50, or 50 instead of 15 if you win. So you just put in or out.
Yep.
So the way I see it, $15,000 minimum, Doug. We got that truck. You know, we're Morgan Shepherd, right?
Hey, we can bring Dodge back in this series.
We know
that it works on the Charlotte Roval.
Yeah.
We can put the Ram on the Charlotte Roval. We can put it anywhere.
Now, I don't know if there is qualifying or not, but let's say there is, whatever, or let's hope there isn't, because then they start even more. But you show up with any truck, because even if you're not a start parker, but one of those smaller teams, that's 3 races a budget for, whatever, they're going to take that 15 and they see it as a 3-race deal. You can spread that out. And a big reason for this is it was really grinding his gears, burning his britches, if you will. It's a crying shame, he said, that Sheldon Creed, the defending series champ, is out there driving around in a blank truck last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
and
stupid.
I gotta give Marcus credit. He's a guy that will. He's not afraid to put money out there for stuff, because he's the one, was he not, that doubled the money last year for the bounty on Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
In the truck series.
Yeah.
He's
with Kyle's okay, of course.
Yeah, he was on a really crappy. He had a lot to do with a really crappy TV show at one point too, but yeah, it's he's a really good guy for the series and for racing.
Yeah. So that's awesome. If you're a truck team out there, hit them up. Jason White, I'm looking at you. Let's cover up that maple leaf.
Yeah.
And we have a history of sending Canadians down to run the Vegas truck races.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with the Haas, father and son, driving straight down from north of Edmonton. They'd go down and they'd do the West Coast run for years in both trucks and then into Xfinity stuff as well. Winston West. It's always a treat to see the 17 and the 71 out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, going into that, so we're looking, all 3 races are running in Vegas this weekend. Do we want to preview them? Want to just do a quick preview of them at the end of the show?
Sure.
All right.
I think I've been previewing my pick the whole race, the whole show here, but but you never know here.
I don't know at this point, dude. I gotta look at the entry list. I think I'm probably gonna choose Christ, I don't know. Because I don't think Kyle Busch has a top 10 this year.
No, except for the Busch Clash.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney's had nothing but fucking headaches and hassles. He's due for a good run. I don't. That 48 was looking damn good last week. It's like
throw a dart at the entry list.
It's really hurting me, Doug. How the 24 and the 48, they actually have all right guys behind the wheels. Okay, because I haven't liked that organization since basically since Schrader and Waltrip were running for them. So I haven't liked them for a long time. All I can hope is that Noah Gragson is in fact a Hendrick development driver, and let's bring him up to cup level so I have a Hendrick driver I can hate and despise.
Yeah.
So there is that. Kyle Larson, right? The Hendrick, they seem to have a strong program this year.
Okay, so do you want to do that there thing later on the show then?
Yeah,
we'll do some more news.
We'll do a quick, we'll pick a winner from each one and stuff.
We'll do some more news
about.
There's I got one other piece of news. Is Phoenix for the following race weekend?
Right.
Is sold out. Their limited crowd is sold out for the weekend.
Well, I'd like to think so.
11,000 people will be at the race on Sunday.
Nice.
The other thing that was
see you, Gary. Cheers.
The other thing announced is the dirt race at Bristol.
Yes. So that gets us to the yes. I heard 9 names thrown around, NASCAR names thrown around that are going to be running at the Bristol Dirt Nationals. That's what I wanted to get into a bit here. I'm looking at an entry list as of, hey, why don't we do that screen share thing?
I was going to say, I had seen a list here of some names.
All right, here we are. So this is from racexr.com. So we'll just, I'm not going to read everybody off because literally we have hundreds of names on this list, dude. But this is for the super late models, which I don't know what they're running for horsepower, this and that. But there's Scott Bloomquist jumps out first. Go figure. Earl Peterson Jr., Joey Coulter. These are big name dirt trackers. There's Kyle Busch. He's going to be running. Kyle Busch out of Batesville, Arkansas, Doug. What's up with that? Thought that was
reincarnating Mark Martin.
Apparently. I can't remember who else is running super late. You think you're at the end, but right, they have triple digits. All right, not a lot on there. So the 602 late models, which is still a big block late model.
Yeah, I just know of 3 names that are in there. I know there's several others that are going to be coming in, but I know of 3.
Who are the ones that you know of?
Joey Logano will be driving in one of those series, as well as Kyle Larson.
Yep. And also, I don't know if you knew, Joey Logano ran a dirt modified a few weeks back.
I think I'd heard that.
Yeah, he didn't talk about it. There was no press, but he apparently started the back and made it up through the field. And I don't think he won, but he finished up near the front.
And I keep hearing about all these drivers who this is going to be their first time racing on dirt. They've never raced on dirt. How many of them used to race in the Prelude to the Dream at Eldora?
Oh, well, Jeremy Mayfield is in here.
He's just. Should we say that he's going to be just going for the white line all the time? Are we riding on that one? Riding the low line?
Well, off-white. It was meth. More 604 late models. Don't know why these ones are any different, but sure. There's Corey LaJoy.
Yes, I did hear his name.
Austin Dillon.
Yes, I know. I'd heard a couple of Austin. I heard Austin
Cole
Corey.
Chester.
Yep.
Yeah, this one seems to have a few guys in it. But yeah, I think it's like 9 or 10 already that are going to be showing up for this midweek event in Bristol.
Yeah. Getting ready for the upcoming, which will be the following weekend that they'll be running the race in Bristol.
Yeah. All right.
Which
I'm not even a third of the way through the page, so screw this.
Yeah, like I'm not even sure. Like I could bring out the tinfoil hat and people. We're almost a year into everything, and that happened before, and really, there's no need to announce for like some people have seen like their fifth and sixth time if you're watching. No need to say that you're leaving NASCAR for political reasons or leaving watching NASCAR.
Yeah,
because you know what, it's not like people say it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure, and when it's a story about the Bristol heat race format, there's nothing political about a heat race format.
Nope. All right, here's a random one for you.
Do you want to go through what they're going to be doing for their format? Sure. They're going to be running?
Okay. Yeah.
So the heat race starting lineup will be a random draw for the heat race starting lineup.
And they're splitting the field, right?
Yes. So qualifying heat races, 4 qualifying races will be held, 15 laps each, with only green flag laps counting.
Yeah, but how many cars in each one?
No overtime rule, free pass, wave around procedures will be in effect.
So it's short track rules, but what they're saying is they're not saying is the full field running 4 times, or are they splitting the field into quarters?
Well, it's 4 heat races, so I'm guessing they're going to split them into 4.
I hope so.
So, yeah, because the winners will get 10 points, so it's going to work on a point system.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So, then everybody's guaranteed playoff points or
passing points. Passing points. Drivers will accumulate points in heat races based on finishing positions and passing points. The points total determines the starting position in the feature event.
Interesting.
So passing points are the difference between the assigned starting position and finishing position.
Well, yeah. So if you go from 10th to 5th, you got as many points as the guy who led every lap.
So if you go forward, you accumulate points. If you go backward, you get 0 passing points.
Well, yeah. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
That's standard dirt track rules.
Tiebreaker will be owner points.
Always is.
So the feature lineup will be based on the combined points of heat races and the passing points. Feature will be 250 laps divided into 3 stages. I know you like that. Running order will be frozen at the conclusion of each stage.
Hey, Doug. This is the one race of the year I don't mind them having stages.
And during the stage breaks, teams can change tires, add fuel, and make adjustments to their cars, trucks. These are non-competitive pit stops and must be completed in the time designated by NASCAR.
Yeah. You know why?
No fuel or tires except at stage breaks. Teams will not be required to pit at stage breaks.
Do you know why? The biggest reason you can't have a pit road speed.
Why no?
Because I don't know if you've been in a dirt track, or dirt track pits, but you've seen track packers, and you see the old cow patties flying up in the air. Okay, can you imagine the field coming out, and you're trying to service, and you get in the back of the old noggin with the old chunk, just beamed with a watermelon of dirt. You're going down.
Yeah. There is one car now. The Live Fast Motorsports will have Shane Golobic in the car, which is he is a dirt racer.
Sure.
So,
well, we know Bloomquist isn't going to run.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he can't pass the admittance test, Doug. Oh, they have to go.
no.
Well, actually, that's not true. You do not have to take any kind of test medically to run in NASCAR. But based off reputation, I'm pretty sure a NASCAR official will be, hey, Scott, pee in this.
Here's a cup. Here's a cup.
Yeah. All right. So here's some trivia question for you. Can you name the top 10 drivers in the standings right now in Cup? I'll say, without looking at it. It's like, can you name 6 of the top 10?
I can name 3. McDowell. With the 3 winners, McDowell, the 20 car, and Byron. Being Christopher Bell.
Actually, no. William Byron is not in the top 10 in points.
He is because he has a win.
I'm looking at points standings, not playoff standings. Points standings. Because honestly, I don't think a win's going to guarantee you a spot in the playoffs.
I don't think so either.
I think this is going to be the 17 winner year, or more.
I think so.
At this point, I don't know. I think everybody's going to win one this year. That's going to be, the 25 races leading in. We have 25 different winners. Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
But isn't this competitive? No, we got a lot of pissed off drivers because there's a lot of guys that lost a lot more races than they should have won.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I can't. I would have to really kind of have a quick look at them.
All right. In reverse order, starting in 10th, you got Brad Keselowski. Quietly into the top 10, I'd say. Because I'm thinking, stage wins. It's the stage wins that always get to you. So your boy Truex is in 9th. Larson's 8th. Christopher Bell 7th. Kurt Busch in 6th. Not bad considering the amount of off-road activity he's done this year as well as on.
Yep.
So that's not too shabby. Golden Boy Chase Elliott in 5th. No matter how much they try to give him the title.
Yep.
Michael McDowell in 4th. Joey Logano in 3rd. Harvick in 2nd. And Denny Hamlin leading the points. Pretty impressive for a guy who hasn't won a race.
Yeah. But he's finished. He's had some good finishes.
That and the stages.
Yeah.
Right? Like, didn't he win both the stages in the 500?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting looking at. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you, that White Claw, isn't that like a girl's drink?
Never had it.
But isn't it like a pansy drink?
I don't know. Never had it.
Oh. Yeah, but you knew of it. I've never heard of it. Then I thought you had mentioned White Claw to me last year or something as a joke.
I don't think I did. I know kind of one of the other guys, but it's because when you're in California, apparently it's a California drink.
Oh.
But yeah.
Apparently it's a Noah Gragson drink too. He did a tweet, ready for a White Claw. Thanks everyone for the support. Hashtag should be 3.
It's a seltzer.
Oh, Jesus.
That's all I got to say.
All right. Oh, covered that. What's that? No, that's not pertinent. Just on a random aside, I'll tell you on air. You know that targeted advertising we get on the inner Google here?
Yeah.
So I'm playing a little game on here, right? I get the old in-game advertising. You should check out Kijiji. It's my ad in the damn ad.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, they're like, here, look, you can go on Kijiji and buy pedals. I'm like, no, those are mine. I'm not interested in buying those. I have those. I'm trying to get rid of them. That's the last thing I want to buy, Kijiji.
Well, if you want to, if anyone needs to buy stuff, if you're watching any diecast stuff, hit up Ben, because there is some for sale. Not the ones behind you, but there is some for sale that are in your place of residence.
Oh, NASCAR and non-NASCAR.
Yep.
By the dozens, hundreds, even. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Found another box. Yep. That was fun. Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, well, we got about 9 minutes left. So let's give them about 3 minutes apiece. Bing, bing, bing. Trucks going into the Truck Series weekend. Defending champ should have a sponsor.
Yeah,
who's tickling your fancy? I was thinking, rather than doing these winners each week, who should we keep an eye on? Drivers to watch, drivers to keep an eye on.
I'm gonna stick with the Canadian. I think Stuart Friesen is due.
Okay.
I think he's gonna hopefully have a good shot at it. But
he's been a little off at times. Lassard isn't running the 4 anymore, is he?
No.
Right. John Hunter Nemechek. Another guy to keep an eye on. He seems to be filling in really nice there. That seems to be a really good fit.
A young kid with a really bright future.
So bright, he was once in Cup and now back in trucks.
He went up and then he came down.
Yep. And that's fine. And the way you see it, you're leaving a non-competitive Cup team to run at, get into that JGR family.
Well, and I think Kyle's thoughts going in, I think he already had him winning at least 2 races.
Yeah.
But hasn't been the case yet, and we'll see.
Yeah, it's early, but he's shown some good signs, progress out there. Someone else to keep an eye on. Are we going to see something from the veterans, the Matt Craftons, the Johnny Sauter? Well, I guess there's only really the 2 veterans, right? Crafton and Sauter. Well, Gilliland,
and Sauter looked good the first race, and then had his issues. But
yeah, he's had issues every week. Part of it's him. He's Johnny Sauter. He's back to being Johnny Sauter.
Yeah,
I don't know, but sure. So looking at Xfinity, excuse me, I saw who's somebody sponsoring the 98 this week. I can't remember.
Yes, I can't remember that either.
Swan Security, I believe. Which I believe they used to sponsor Schrader on the 49, and that's the same Swan.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Who are we looking for in the Xfinity series? Is it going to be another dominating weekend from Colleague Racing? I think Harrison Burton's going to rebound.
They're almost due for something.
Yeah. Do we start, speaking of which, do we start sounding the warning signs on the JGR engine department? Because I'm seeing engine problems in multiple levels, I
still don't think so.
I don't know. Bad batch of parts? Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
They seem to be going through an awful lot of power plants, though, for an organization. You don't have to worry about that in the truck series because they don't run the motors. Why? Because they run a spec engine in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to clarify on that. I heard all engines are prepared by Ilmor, who's also doing the SRX series. But do they prepare Chevys, Fords, and Toyotas, or do they all just use we can't name it to piss off the other two? Do they use a Chevy or a Ford or a Toyota, or is it something else entirely that just happens to be a V8 engine?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure.
I got to research in that. Since we do the show, we should probably research that. We can't ask the crowd to do it. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah. So Xfinity, who do you like in Xfinity?
I was just trying to see if I could see some sort of Actually, I was looking at the wrong race here, and some kind of entry list for Vegas here this weekend.
Who's in the 54? That's the question.
That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm
Right?
trying to look for.
Because that could be a
And
KB race.
and now that I'm actually looking at the Vegas race and not the Phoenix race.
Smart move. Finger on the pulse. He's so on the pulse, folks. He's already in Phoenix.
Exactly. Yes. It will be Ty Dillon in the car this weekend.
Again.
Okay. I'm liking. I'm thinking Harrison's going to bounce back this weekend.
As long as he doesn't have engine problems.
How about Jeb Burton? Another solid finish.
Yeah, doing really well in that car. And that's a colleague car, isn't it?
It's a colleague car. Yeah, it's a colleague car.
That, that's good to see because we know it's a good car, and it shows he's got some talent. And it's not just the name, So it's good to see. And he's earned it. But, the guy started out by sharing a ride with his dad, folks.
Yeah.
So, for whatever that is. And these guys, they got to be decent because State Water Heaters has been involved.
Water heater.
They've been involved since with his dad.
It's not a water heater. It's a water heater.
The fast cars all run close to the wall, Jeremy. That is the preferred line, but yeah, we went over that earlier in the race. He had plenty of time to dive down under him. So, unfortunately, David Starr did cord that tire, which sucks for him. But yeah, so Harrison Burton.
I think something. Speaking of Noah Gragson, with him going home, I think something's going to happen there.
Okay.
Good, bad. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm guessing there's going to be a storyline.
Yeah, probably. All right. So going into Cup, I'm going to hazard a guess you're going to go with your boy Martin.
Well, it is. I can move the mic here. The first all in for the win. The first stage sweep was at Vegas. I think he's due. I think it's time for him to kick this off and
he looked pretty good this past race. And that's what you got to see, that the decent setup, as much as anything else. Speaking of decent setup,
mile and a half.
Speaking of decent setups, I thought it was kind of funny. Was Kyle Larson didn't have a setup going into the weekend last weekend, so they gave him Chase Elliott's setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mr. Oh, he's such a great driver. Really? Because another driver can drive better than him with his own damn setup.
Yep.
Just saying. So, there's that. Yep. Who am I looking at this weekend? Drivers to keep an eye on. You know what? I'm not going to count out that 24 car again this weekend. Because the momentum, the confidence based off a win, there could be, he could knock off 2 or 3 in a row. Because on the other hand, with the way this season's going, I'm going with Ricky Stenhouse or something. Christ, who knows, right?
Wow.
It's going to be like the 47 but it won't be. Actually, 17 driver, Busher?
Yeah. Well, he's already
got
a win.
That car wasn't looking sweet as tits on Sunday.
Yep.
Because I do not hold back on Roush. And I've been calling them a field filler back marker. Jesus, both cars, they had a good setup this past weekend, and I can't see Vegas being a whole lot different than Homestead. So I'm going to say, look out for the 17, the 24. Is Hamlin going to get his first win of the year?
I'm still looking for the 21 to do something. Di Benedetto's it's his last year in the car. and
He's just been snake bit so far. He's got some bad mojo on him for at least another couple of weeks somehow, some way. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's because he's been going too hard trying to get that 100th win for that owner.
Jeremy's looking for Chase Briscoe to be competitive this week.
I was kind of looking at that.
He wasn't that competitive this past weekend, though, unfortunately, because I've been rooting for him. Hey, Terry. Hey, we got 4 people watching. Look at that.
Could it be Suarez in the 99? He's sponsored by Camping World Truck Series. Camping World this weekend.
I was going to talk about him. Bonehead move of the week.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that appearance this week they did down at that school? They had the car out front of the school.
No, but I did see they did have some big thing on NASCAR today. They had some big.
All right, so he makes an appearance. They got the car down there. They got the number on the rear quarter, for one thing, which was interesting, with said right across the main part. Interesting choice. I'm thinking possibly that's what we're going to see for the All-Star race this year. Numbers on the rear quarters. You heard it here right now. I'm saying it.
They do it here.
Yeah, and I don't like it, but they're going to do it. Why else would a show car already have the numbers like that? So expect it for the All-Star race where they do the teasers. So they decided they fire up the car, start revving up, and Suarez is going to do a bit of a burnout. Okay. And it's choppy. You hear it, and it's just like, well, it's not, it's like he's not dumping the clutch or giving enough goot. There's blocks around the goddamn wheels that are flying out around it. And there's people walking around. The fucking moron level. And the camera pans when he finally does chug forward to 6-7. There's the goddamn hauler not 20 feet in front of him. Where's he going to go? Start doing a burnout. Now, if you've got enough experience doing burnouts, if you're a Kyle Busch with, whatever, he's got 70-plus career wins, wow, that's just in the cup level. Christ, he's got over 100, you're not, Daniel, we know you. Remember, you couldn't even have a parking spot at Gibbs. We saw you walk in.
That's next year, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's on the new car next year. So, yeah, I wanted to give your head a shake of the week, sponsored by Goody's Headache Powders. Give your head a shake, Daniel Suarez, you goof. That was just stupid, dangerous. And why? Because Pitbull thought it was cool?
Probably. That's just coming into my head now. Speaking of upcoming test session on Monday. I knew about it last week. Wasn't able to say who was all going to be there. Truex was there. Chase Elliott, because he needs the experience on a road course. Keselowski, and I think there was one more, and I forget who it was.
No, it was just the 3.
Was it just those 3?
Yeah, because one from each manufacturer. Remember? No Dodge.
True.
DJ Kennington was not part of the test. Although, saw some cars in his shop last week.
I've seen the Scott Steckley put out his lineup of the 3 cars that they will be running.
Nice.
This year. They've got Tagliani, Cameron, and then I believe his son is in the 3rd car.
Nice.
Which I was hoping that Fitzpatrick could have been back in that car, but he wasn't.
I don't know. Bubba was leading the race on Sunday for a while there.
Yeah, and with Bubba, I've seen a lot of people saying that that he's going to be replaced next year. We've already said it here a few times. They're going to go to a 2-car team, and Ty Dillon will be in that seat. So that's the experienced driver that they are talking about. Will be Ty Dillon,
which is funny because really they've got the same amount of experience. Just Bubba moved up to Cup sooner. Because they're both 27, 28 years old.
Yep.
So, yeah. So on that, we went over Look at that. We went into overtime just like Saturday night.
Yep.
It's those late race cautions, I tell you. Any parting thoughts?
I think I'm good.
Ooh, same here. Yeah, I've got the beer burps. So until next time, next week. Oh,
next week will be early show again next week.
Early show next week. So there you go, folks. It'll be a lunchtime letdown or earlier. Maybe coffee talk with the NasCanucks. Not sure what I'm going to label it yet. We'll figure it out. I'll even be awake. Until next time, he's Doug. Wait, no, that way. He's Doug. I'm Ben. You're watching NasCanucks, presented by Vibraprint, your NASCAR podcast with a Canadian spin.
See you, Marcus.